Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
UKIP's messy year just got messier. Stephen Woolfe, the man who was among the favourites to take the leadership until that altercation in Strasbourg, dropped a bombshell this afternoon.
There are no hopes, as far as I'm concerned. I will be withdrawing my application to become leader of UKIP. I'm actually withdrawing myself from UKIP. I just don't think that UKIP, in the spiral it's got, where you've got elected politicians fighting each other, over, where there is just this visceral hatred in some cases towards Nigel or anyone that's seen to be associated with him, or some people call me his puppet for standing and things like that. Whilst that's happening, not only are they letting down the members, but they're actually letting down themselves. And I don't think that at this stage UKIP is governable.
Well, I'm joined by Raheem Kassam, a UKIP leadership candidate, editor-in-chief of Breitbart in London, and also former right-hand man to Nigel Farage. What do you think's happened here to Stephen and his ambition to be leader?
I think Stephen's been through a really tough time. I think he went through a gruelling leadership campaign last time, and I think the tactics got really nasty. I don't think we should see that inside our own party. I think we're a family, and it shouldn't come to those things. And I think Stephen was particularly, more than anyone, on the receiving end of this bullying, quite frankly.
But the fight, was he going to be found guilty of partaking in a fight or starting it? Because some said he was the one who said, come outside. He says he wasn't doing that, meaning to have a fight, but let's take this argument outside. Is that part of the thing here, that he was going to be blocked from the leadership?
Stephen wasn't innocent in that fracas. You know, he was, and I think he will admit, at least privately, that he bears some culpability for what happened there. I'm not going to prejudge what comes out of you know, UKIP Central on this issue, but from what I've heard that there is at least equal culpability.
Okay, so he's obviously saying he was hit by, but
sure.
We're not there. We'll await other investigations. Right, the leadership situation now. Would you support Nigel Farage saying, "Look, I'm going to stay on, or I'm going to stand in this leadership election"? He obviously seems to be the only one who can hold the party together.
He's told me he's not going to, so I'm going to take him at his word.
You'd like it if he did, though. I mean, other than that, it would slightly thwart your ambition.
It's up to him. You know, I'm young. I'm all right. It's up to him. I think there is a lot of appetite within the party for Nigel Farage, but actually, I've already said that if I become the leader, he will be the honorary president of the party. Right. So, you know, I think it needs to retain him in some way, shape, or form. UKIP is Nigel. Nigel is UKIP.
So some titular post that sort of keeps him on the side.
Yeah, I think it's
the other candidates who now, because there were NEC determinations today about the rules, Suzanne Evans, frequent guest on this programme, actually. She can stand this time. She was blocked last time.
Yep.
Would you welcome her as a candidate in this race?
Absolutely. I've always said throughout this whole, you know, the last crazy 10 days, that actually we should have an open contest.
And you could serve under her. So if she won, you'd be absolutely delighted to serve under Suzanne Evans, because we all know the party is riven by splits and divisions.
Yeah.
And you're in a different division to her. But could you unite under Suzanne Evans?
Well, it's a tough question. I'm not sure she would take the party in the direction that I would want it to go, so I'm not sure about serving under her, but I would certainly commit to this, which is not attacking her if she won the leadership. Right.
So you could, but you might even leave the party if she became leader.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
You wouldn't.
No, not at all. I think people need to stick with this. They need Brexit. They want real solutions. They don't want a one-party state. You know, they want real opposition to the Tories. Labour's not delivering it. UKIP has the opportunity.
I'm going to ask you a question. Who are you supporting in the American election?
I would probably support Donald Trump.
Yeah, because it's rather interesting. Patrick O'Flynn, who was himself a candidate in the general election, and he tweeted, "The choice ahead for UKIP." This is in a way, it sort of encapsulates everything, doesn't it? Is whether to be the patriotic party at the common sense centre of UK politics, or go Trump, alt-right. He says former. And doesn't that just encapsulate the split in your party between the Trump
that tweet?
And I didn't see your reply. What did you say?
I said it's a silly false dichotomy. We are all common sense patriots. We need to come together as a common sense patriot.
No,
I think everybody in UKIP is a common sense patriot, and they need to come together.
Don't you think there are a lot of people who basically think Trump is a completely off the scale?
I know.
Who would say, if you're a Trump person, I'm not for you. I mean, Trump has obviously divided the world, doesn't he? He's
look, we're in central London right now. It's disgusting to support Donald Trump in central London.
No, I'm not taking a view on it. I'm saying there are people.
No, but I'm explaining
if you tell us that Trump is an inspiration to you, then they're going to say...
Now you're putting words in my mouth. You know, it's not so much that I think Trump is an inspiration to me. I just think Hillary Clinton would be very bad for the United States of America. That's all it comes down to, quite frankly. Who is better?
Okay. Just one last one. Do you think there's a sort of fight gene in UKIP supporters? And I don't just mean in the boxing match or whatever happened, or fisticuffs, but you all seem to just pick arguments the whole time with each other, with other people. You on Twitter tonight arguing with Al Murray. And I mean, what is it about you guys and fighting?
Well, Al Murray's funny, and it's nice to pick fights with Al Murray because he gets the jocular element of it as well. You know, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek, by the way, behind a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Don't be fooled into thinking it's all animosity all the time. There's a lot of playfulness going on here, right? And honestly, you know, I know you're looking at me really skeptically. I mean that, but I also think that it has come to a point where it's too much. And that is because of the existential crisis in UKIP. It doesn't know what it stands for. It doesn't know where it's going. I've already committed. I want to make the party great again. And I've told people how I'm going to do it. 100,000 members
Raheem,
if I'm leader.
Kassam, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Evan.
I've been getting away with it all.